Hello. Cool. Hey, Jen, Goddess of Light. Hello. Good morning or good afternoon, actually. I am in between appointments and I wanted to come and speak about something. Uh, by the way, hit the thumbs up when you come in. Um, you know what I noticed? I noticed, in particular on YouTube, and I think this is a form of exploitation, actually. People being very, very judgmental of people's stories and their situation as far as with being parents. And so that's why I put mothers and fathers. But of course, it all goes on the woman. It does. It all goes back to the woman. And it's supposed to. Okay. But what I want to bring to light, and this is something that, because I consider myself to be a veteran, and I've never claimed to be a perfect parent because nobody can. You know how they say it takes a village to raise a child. So a lot of the times, if people would just listen to the mother when they're supposed to, a lot of the times, especially if it's a mother that loves her children, the kids will be okay. But people rarely do that. Okay, because a mother knows what her child needs, and even if it involves some kind of separation, that happens sometimes. And you know what? That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about that separation. So what I've noticed is, first of all, if you are especially a young mother, but it doesn't matter if you're young or old, uh, they're dealing with black magic and witchcraft that is being used against them. They are. Okay, and we can be in denial about it all we want because, for example, if you see a group of people following somebody around, doing incantations, if you are someone that doesn't know how to control your own mind, and that's not a lot of people's fault. If you're a person that doesn't know how to control your own mind, if you're dealing with that kind of heat from societal issues, you can become a little depressed. There's some people that have become suicidal. It's not easy. And it doesn't help these parents when you're beating down on them. Because at the end of the day, as long as the children are safe, they ain't been raped, which that ain't always the mother's fault either, because I've seen it happen. Okay, and see, I want to let y'all know that if you are a parent, there does seem to be demons on this earth that want either access to your children or either they want to destroy your family. And, so if you like, there's a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? I am, what do you call that? Catholic, or, maybe they may have a really close relationship with God. And so that doesn't happen to them, but we've seen it happen with Andrea Yates. So what is, and that's an extreme case. There's a lot of people that I believe are doing too much black magic. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. There's a child born. Something may happen if the parents don't stay together, which that might possibly be black magic, because I think that parents should at least be together until the child is a teenager, until they leave the home, personally. I think that's the best thing in a lot of cases. But something happens and the parents are split apart. So the first priority is making sure that the child and the parents are in a positive place. But people rarely do that in society. Everybody's causing problems, people arguing, and sometimes it's coming from within the relationship. Somebody might be drinking too much. Somebody might be doing too many. A lot of scenarios happen. Anything can happen. And the first priority should be to make sure that the kids are in a safe environment. But you got people that will throw black magic at mothers and fathers. And a lot of these people don't know the forces that they are fighting with. A lot of these people don't know. And so if you're not a person that knows about witchcraft and what the hell can be done with it, which is why it was forbidden in the Bible, because of the evil aspect of witchcraft, in my opinion. The evil aspect of it, and so you have these very vulnerable people, because after a woman has a child, she's vulnerable. She needs to be taken care of. And you got people just leaving these babies, or either trying to take them. They're non-supportive of the mother or the father. And a lot of times, especially these young parents, they need guidance. They do. And so if you have a community of people that are demonic and, spouting garbage, if the mother is not strong, because every mother is not strong. Every mother is not strong like that. And they're not even supposed to be sometimes. Sometimes the situation can be horrible. Sometimes it can be so bad, especially if something happens and, you got either the daddy dragging the woman through court. He's using the court system. You're not supposed to use the criminal justice system for and they've got divisions of that, of child custody. And so you got people doing that, putting extra pressure. Everybody needs to just stop. And, I've seen people do it. I have seen people, and you know what? I'm not talking about, because there are some crazy parents that go nuts and murder their children and stuff like that. Like, I'm not, like, honestly, like, if you ever get, like, I couldn't even imagine, but I've investigated a lot of those situations spiritually. And yeah, like it's so if people would start opening their eyes to seeing what's happening spiritually and do what's actually best for the children, which is helping that mother fight her demons. You know what I'm saying? Because, everybody has them. And it depends on what control you have over it. I can sit up here and say, because, I remember everything about raising all four of my children. And it's easy for me to go and say, oh, but, I feel like I was blessed and highly favored, that, nothing horrible has happened. But you got people cursing people and their children. I see it all the damn time. I see it a lot in y'all readings. People sitting up there, they just want to see a tragedy unfold in your family. I swear to Goddess, man, I see it all the time. In fact, I was asking about a vlogger last night, and something's going on with that situation. I ain't gonna say I saw exactly what it was, because it's that lady's personal business. But I will tell you that somebody was doing work on her. And you got people out here terribly confused and bitter and angry, and they are conjuring these demons. So you do have to protect yourself. You know, they are literally, there's hate groups. There's satanic groups that are targeting people. These mothers and fathers, they need support, because if, okay, most mothers, if a demon walked up to them and said, you know, if a demon walked up to them and threatened their children, they would fight to the death. And so many of them have. So many of them have fought into the death for their children. And I think that being judgmental like that, you know, as long as that parent ain't molested or beat or, you know, threw her kids in the garbage. I used to say that all the time, you know, all these men on here arguing about single mothers. And I said, well, what did you expect for them to do if they broke up with the father? Throw their children in the damn dumpster? So I think that a lot of people, they are very, very well aware that the energy that they are throwing at each other, you think that's going to be good for their children? And that's not to say that, hell, whatever. If you feel, I'm not asking the enemy to necessarily take it easy on me. I'm ready for the enemy. Whenever it's ready, I'm ready. Okay? Seriously. So I'm not begging for mercy. What I am saying is that when you get a person that is ignorant and maybe they don't know, and that doesn't mean that God doesn't protect the ignorant when they make. Y'all wouldn't believe like how God sees things, because there's people, I've seen people try to drive people to certain frames of mind, and you got to be strong. You do. But if you got like a young woman in her 20s, and it's not to say that young people have to be, you know, stupid or anything. I can say that in my 20s, I wasn't stupid, like I wouldn't have let nobody hurt my children or nothing like that. But in my 20s, I still, you know, looking back, you know, I used to be a young mother. Even though I didn't have my first child until I was 24, I still was a young mom. And the communities y'all are not necessarily, y'all are cursing people's children. You saying, oh, that, you know, the daddy left, oh, well, that kid gonna be fucked up. You just cursed that child. And then not only that, because of your own memories of your own childhood, that I'm going to be honest with you. If you had a single mom that was beating you, hold on, y'all. What's up, baby girl? Oh, I'm sorry. Because I'm live right now, little one. Hold on, y'all. I got to talk to my little one. I'm going to call you on Messenger as soon as I get done here, because I got a little bit of time before I got some work to do. Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, love you. Love you too. Bye-bye. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. So there's a lot of people that possibly didn't have a good childhood. Either your mother was poverty stricken, which that would have to be extreme poverty, because, you know, growing up, you know, my kids, they had Christmases, you know what I'm saying? They did. Even if I had to go to Kmart, that was the favorite store, because they always ran sales, and they would let you put your stuff in layaway. And so, you know, but I don't even think it's about the presents, because I remember one year I got all my kids 1 or 2 presents each. And then we had dinner. but it was more so the energy. So if you grew up with a mother that was miserable because she was allowing society to judge her, that's really why your mama was miserable, because she allowed all these fake ass people to convince her that she didn't have no life and that she was, oh, she, you know what I'm saying? Even you, not so much with fathers. They praise single fathers most of the time, but not necessarily. I think that there's possible family issues, but mainly with women, I think that that was a source of it, because there was extreme pressure for, you know, for me to not give a fuck, and for me to just, you know what I'm saying, you know, to give up and all, you know, they was doing a lot of work. And I believe that it's an underground sect that will target mothers first and fathers, because they want to get their hands on your children. And they'll fuck your family up, and they'll send all kind of demons and ghouls and ghosts and shit. And you gotta be, especially if you're a woman, you gotta have your eyes open to that and these demonic entities, and fuck some sage. That's what's fucking y'all up. Y'all keep using sage. You don't need sage. You need to get a pot and put a charcoal in it, a self-lighting charcoal, and you need copal resin and dragon's blood. Okay, if you use sage sticks, use the ones that are coated in dragon's blood. And you gotta understand that a lot of these mental illnesses and shit, this stuff is demons. But a lot of people don't know that. So that's why there's so much violence, and it could be more. A lot of people will say, well, I don't believe there is a God. And there has to be. Because when you think about the negative shit that happens, I'm talking about, especially when it comes to families, this is probably less than 2% of the population. So I believe God is doing pretty good. I believe that the rest of it is you. You know, I've seen it all. I've seen stepmothers, you know, attack they son's baby mama, because, you know, they felt some type of way about the mama, in which, you know, some of the, you know, I mean, a person not leaving the toilet seat down, surely that person, I mean, they may need to be more disciplined. But people will try to turn a mountain into a they'll try to turn a molehill into a mountain, and end up creating more problems because of their own selfish reasons. I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen. People make up all kind of crazy shit in their mind. And as a mother, you be looking at that person like, why would you ever think that? Because I know if I love, hey Walker, I know that if I love my children the way that I do and want nothing but what's the best for them, and I never did anything to my kids like that, and was very protective, and even was worried, you know, I know that there's other mothers and fathers out there the same way, you know what I'm saying? And so I've seen mothers under attack. I've been one, trying to convince me that I didn't love my children. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then also trying to convince me that my mother didn't love me, but my mother actually does love me. So I'm not going to get into that, but and you know, but I think that when you're in survival mode, that demon can take advantage of you. So it's, you know, there used to be a time when, you know, the mother and the father would come for blessings and protection. And these days, women are having babies in these hospitals. They got them all lined up. They don't have buckets of water in between the beds or nothing. They're not. And then they send them home, and they don't give them the placenta. You're supposed to take the placenta with you. They're taking the placenta and using it in beauty products, which there's a lot of women will say, hey, I don't want that placenta. Go ahead, I'll donate it. If you want to donate it, that's fine. But you know, things are done so unorthodox and like an assembly line or something. And I think that these women and and the children and the father even, you know, they need individual support from their guardians. And so since the coronam is actually AKA crown, so what's happening is a huge crown chakra awakening right now. And so we are more in contact with the gods and the guardian spirits, which I feel happy about that. I really do. I feel very happy about that because you can feel the divine mother sometimes, like when Jacob is playing his video game and he'll get frustrated. You know how men or boys, they get to yelling at the football game. Jacob goes to he'd be like, oh damn. You know, if he moves on this game, he'd be like, damn it, I'm gonna do it. um Sometimes I'll even feel the divine mother, you know, taking care of Jacob, and then I'll go and he'll say, Mom, I'm okay. So it just, you know, I think that we need to stop being so blind to it and what's going on. Because I mean, when you think about it, you know, there are demons that are roaming this planet. There's demons roaming this planet because and thank God, because you know, I've man, it's such a blessing when you see all your children grow up and they're safe, and that's what you wanted, for them to be safe and happy. That's really literally, if you're a parent, an actual parent. Now we know that there are other parents that they sometimes check out on us. And I think sometimes even that does need more understanding, but at the same time, the children, you know, whether or not it's a young child or an adult child, they need support, because there's a lot of people that are watching their parents die from Alzheimer's disease. There's a lot of people that are watching their parents die from various things, or either suffering and going through changes. And I'm not going to really get into what all that is about, but I did watch a very interesting commercial. It was actually an ad on YouTube, and the guy was like holding up signs. You know how people communicate with just signs. I mean, I'm sure he could talk, but you know, it has a bigger impact when you hold up signs, your message, for some reason, because it's. And so he was saying that when he turned 50, his body started to ache, and you know, he was sore, his knees was hurting and stuff. And so I said, let me listen to this commercial, because I wonder what he's gonna come with. And of course it was a pill. And I was like, because if it ain't natural, I ain't touching it. If it ain't natural, I ain't touching it. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, a new medication, you know. And so people, but I think that, you know, I think that not enough people are getting out in nature and dealing with more of the natural stuff. If you somebody that's cooped up in the house, I'm talking about cooped up to where you don't even go outside. That's not good for your body. And you got to get the kids outside this summer. Okay, watch them by the street. Okay, don't let them go out in that road. Okay, because the road is mean. People are driving. They sometimes ain't paying attention when they in these residential neighborhoods. But get the kids out in the backyard. Get them out there. You know, teach them how to plant roses or something, and teach them how to, you know, plant flowers, and get them out there in the water. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody needs to be cleansed. So this summer, what Spirit told me was for y'all to get the babies out. And, you know, it don't mean that because some people are afraid of pools because they're afraid of everything. But like, you know, those little slip and slides and stuff you can get for the kids, because that water, you know, Yemi Ya wants the kids out in the water. And not necessarily, because I remember I went to Oceans of Fun and Yemi Ya saved me once, y'all. She actually saved me once. And some people were saying, because you know how people, okay, have y'all ever heard that saying that Yemi Ya, her children can't be close to the water because they may get pulled under? I've actually heard that from more than one source as a child of Yemi Ya. And one time I went to Oceans of Fun and I was in that wave pool where you just kind of, you know, you get in like a, it's like a, you know, that little donut thing. I don't know what they call that, a lifesaver or whatever. And you just kind of, you know, you can either swim or you can either be in one of those lifesavers. And so I was actually in one of them and I felt, I wasn't in a lifesaver. Hold on. I had just came down from one of them big ass water slides. Okay. So I'm not saying, because that can actually be dangerous. You got to watch your kids like a hawk. And I think my dad was getting a funnel cake or something. I don't know what was going on, but I went down the slide and I landed in the water. And so it's a wave pool down there. It's like waves. And I felt myself get taken under. And the next thing I know, I was floating above the water, and I can't swim still. I need to learn how to swim. But I was floating above the water, and Yemi Ya carried me to safety. I didn't know that back then, but I almost drowned. I've actually almost drowned twice near the water. It was once when I was fishing too. I almost went under. And Yemi Ya saved me then again. Like I was with my aunt and my uncle. It wasn't their fault. You know, sometimes your guardian angels, you know, I just noticed that she's very protective of me by water. And so there is something else that does protect and guide the kids. I know that for a fact, you know, and there has been times where parents have lost their kids because they weren't watching them. And you know, that could be extremely horrible. Can you imagine the guilt if you're a parent that, you know, something happened to your kid and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so I think it's even more important for you to have your guides and your angels. Speaking of which, now I understand what that movie Pet Sematary was about, the original, not the part 2 and part 3, but the original one was about. Y'all notice how their son got hit by a car. But in the movie, he, you know, the old man across the street, he's telling them about the legends of the Pet Cemetery and the Indian burial ground. But the father was actually a doctor. So people that pay more attention to science and, you know, what should be a logical thing, you know, and so I think that was probably the message from that movie. Because a lot of people are trying to do everything through science and doctors. And that man probably needed to do a house blessing. He probably needed to do some kind of spiritual protection over his children or something. But instead, you know, and I don't know, it's a very tragic movie. Only one member of their family survived, which was Ellie. And she was actually a seer. So, yeah. I bet you your baby Jacob and family greatly enjoy all that this season has of this life has blessed you with. Yeah. And you know what? I'm first of all, I need one of those speakers because we do like to listen to music. I don't know why I didn't see music on there, but I like music personally. But I am gonna take a couple of videos like of Jacob, because I have a hose. Well, I got to get a hose, but I have a water supply like on the side of the house, like over there where I got the little patio area. And so I am going to get Jacob one of those little things that he can run through and get wet in the summertime. So I'm making sure I do that. And I will be taking video. Yeah, y'all need to do that, because I feel like Yemi Ya is saying, get the kids out of the house and outside barefoot so that they can play in the water and stuff, is what she's been telling me. So I'm definitely going to do that for this summer, because last summer we didn't do that. We were sort of cooped up in the house last summer. Yeah, slip and slides. Yeah, or either the ones, they got all different types of ones, I think I might, because they're not that expensive, and so I think it's important for us to do that this summer, especially is the water activities. Now, if you like to live a little bit more dangerously, you can do the water stuff, but I just plan on having like a little sprinkler thingy, because I'll be out there too, running through the water and stuff, because she wants us to get out in nature in water, not just take a bath or a shower. She wants us actually on the barefoot on the ground. And, it's going to be a lot of healing energy with that, because I know I don't necessarily have PTSD, but I have the symptoms. And so I've been experiencing just that blah feeling, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of like, ooh, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And so it's time to get out in the water and clear yourselves and stuff, because I know, like I said, last summer, I got out and got fresh air, but I just, I spend a lot of time outdoors now, and, you can tell that I feel like it's slowly but surely healing me of a lot. And so it's also, so yeah, so I feel like that's going to be good. But I think that if you are cooped up in the house, you can start getting cabin fever and stuff like that. And folks is arguing and family violence. And so we know about that just recently when we had the loss of that little girl that got shot by the police. Remember that? And them people needed a lot of help. They did. They needed a lot of help. The devil was in that house. And I believe in spirits and stuff. And yes, I am like a Christian. I do believe that negative spirits and, just demonic energy can cause bad things to happen. I do believe in that, especially even when I look at certain cases. I mean, who was that guy that was worshiping Satan? And now for him, obviously, he was a Satan worshiper, but because I help people a lot, you know what I'm saying, as far as like making sure that family stuff don't get escalated. Because when it starts to get too escalated, or either so a lot of these mothers, they need help. They don't need judgment. They need help. They do. They need help. And I've seen many, many people demonically possessed before. I have. And so I know how it works and stuff, And so I think that's why the Bible spoke against judgment, because I think that a lot of people, they can become blind with that judgment and be more of a harm than a help to people. And they know that a lot of times they know they're being harmful, and so it just, or maybe they don't know, hell. All I know is that if you're a mother or a father, you have to be very strong, you do, no matter what age you are. I mean, what's done is done. I noticed that there was a mother on here that was being judged because she had to basically, she gave her children to the father for, helping people, that's you going below the belt when you do stuff like that, because, regardless if it happened 5 years ago or 10 years ago, the mother did what she felt was best for her kids. And that's actually a good thing. So I actually saw some people judging women that gave their kids up for adoption. Adoption can be a beautiful thing if the children are with a parent that really wants to be a parent to that child and takes responsibility. So, and I've noticed people judging. You're not helping the situation. And sometimes women had to do that 10 years ago. I know that when my mom first gave birth to me, I lived with my aunt. And that's understandable. I never judged my mother because of that. Not really, not actually. It was other stuff that, you know, I may have been upset about, but that within itself. And so, you know, if a mother does that, you know, what good are you doing the mother or the children now? Because if you're attacking somebody's mama, you're attacking them. I don't care how old the kids are. If you are attacking somebody's mother, the children are going to feel it. They're going to go through it too. So make it make sense to me. And I think people need to stop attacking people altogether and start trying to transmute the energy, and especially if the kids are okay. And you know what I'm saying? If the kids are healthy and they ain't got no problems, and you know they not roaming the streets trying to run around in damn traffic, because it ain't just about working and taking care of kids. It's about the spiritual shit. Hell, working and sometimes having a job, which I know that working and having a job has gotten much harder these days for some people. But it's not just the financial responsibility of children, it's the spiritual responsibility of children. You know, you got people with kids run, you know, they running around here possessed and cutting themselves and, you know, doing all kind of crazy stuff and in torment. So if you got a healthy, happy kid, the hell, that's, you know, that's more than a blessing, you know. So I mean, I think people take things for granted just because it's not perfect. Yeah, and I think that's what the community, I think especially if you, you know, and so for me, I'm more so supportive of mothers because I know what y'all go through and what you're fighting against. And let's face it, you know, there is the demon of pedophilia that wants access to your kids. And see, we got a lot of stuff going on in Hollywood. And then see, that's why I would never, no, not me. But you know, so it just is crazy. But it's not just Hollywood. Hell, it can be an evil person that's down the street from you that could be hexing you or something. You know, demons are everywhere. And so, you know, that's why I don't know if y'all saw that advanced witch bottle that I made. Y'all more than welcome to do that bottle on your own. But, you know, it involves taking your hair and your kids' hair. You know, when you see them, just get their hair and put them in that. Because you'd be surprised at how that works. Especially if it's a situation that could be created by demons that might be meant to be very traumatic, but you and your family was able to stay grounded and you were able to adjust, because demons are constantly trying to find a way in. They're, you know, into the minds of our parents, our grandparents, you know, and I think that's why a lot of our grandparents wanted to close the door. You know, that's why they got on the medications and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that they didn't, but we in the age of Aquarius now, everybody gonna have to deal with their stuff. And especially if it's from a past life, you know, we're, you know, so we just gonna have to adjust to this, you know, this superhuman awareness of what the fuck is going on around us. And a lot of people witnessed it with the Twin Towers. Y'all remember when that happened? And they actually, in the photographs, you can even see the demons in the smoke. Yeah, those were real demons. Okay? I don't know if they were ascending, if the demons were ascending, but you know, a lot of people look at that and go, "Oh, that ain't." It's like, did you not see that it was a horned god in that smoke? So, and you can't really run from spirit. You know, I think that's why a lot of people hate people that talk about spirits a lot. They're maybe even a bit afraid of them, but they're everywhere. And, you know, that there was a lady over here in Georgia several years ago that literally cooked her children in the oven. What the fuck would make her do that? Think about it. We can say, oh, she was crazy or temporarily insane, but most of us know with exact fact that we ain't gonna be putting our children in no damn oven. Most of us know that with exact, you know what I'm saying? Like we ain't like, but what the fuck would make that woman do that? Something had to have been on her. And so this actually happened locally, well, over in Atlanta. It happened. And I thought about doing a read on it, like, what the hell? It just helps you get a better understanding. And so I think the demons, when they make some weak-minded people do shit like that, then the demon will come back and say, oh, it was the woman that did it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Oh, it was because she was a single mother. And see, when you look deeper into that story, I ain't even gonna get into it because I don't know who might be watching me. So, but I could see a lot within that situation. And so, what's the deal with that? You know what I'm saying? What's the deal with people, telling a mother, like, I don't spank my kids. I don't spank any of them anymore. I don't spank Jacob. But somebody was saying to me, oh, you're abusive. You're going to beat that kid. It's like, what? That's a demon. It's like, what the fuck? You trying to use the Jedi mind trick on me or something? And these are actual written words that were in chat rooms and people saying crazy stuff. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Your imagination is not going to affect my imagination, because what I'm going to do is hug my children, guide them correctly, feed them, and go to sleep and wake up in the morning and do the same thing over and over again. And so, but I feel like some people are a little bit more weak-minded because, I've been under extreme pressure and have never, ever, and would never take it out on my kids. Not ever. You got to be able to, but some people don't have that patience, and they don't have, you know what I'm saying? And so why, and here's another thing I noticed, is that people that have issues will actually mess with them if they think they crazy. It's like, well, if somebody is kind of, off, why would you mess with them? So it doesn't make any sense. So for me, I try to stay the hell out of negativity as much as possible, or stay above it, because somebody got to stay normal through this shit. Somebody got to be like a bald-eyed eagle. Somebody got to be, because, people will get caught up. By the way, there's a couple of movies on Netflix y'all should catch while they got them on there. One of them is called Population 436. It actually came out in 2006. It was actually a pretty good movie. It was kind of weird. It was kind of like, whoa, this movie is. But y'all should check that out. And then also there's a movie called Awake on there. That's a really good catch on Netflix, because I know Netflix, sometimes you be looking through Netflix and you be like, they ain't got nothing good on here. But, so I don't know. I think that we should be, for the betterment of the children, why invite even more demons in so that you can be right? And that's what a lot of people are doing. Oh, well, you know that because you're a single mom, your children are going to struggle and they're not going to turn out right. Well, how about we change that for the betterment of the children, not just so that you could prove that single mothers are subpar, which I don't believe that they are. I believe that there are a lot of children of single moms that are walking around here very strong and very well balanced. I'm not going to sit up here, as a child of divorce and say, oh, well, I need to be fucked up because my parents divorced. It's almost like they're trying to say, do y'all understand what I'm saying? You make the best of it. You make the best of life. That's what you do. You don't. Oh, I think they're cutting my grass, y'all. Damn it, I'm going to miss you know what? I might get off of here and go out there and try to get me a few of them dandelions. They going to cut down all the dandelions. They gone. I'll wait till they grow again. But now, and you know what? I think that people without children, you know, they need just as much help spiritually. So that's all I'm saying. You know, it's especially when it comes to some of these mothers that find a better home for their children. You know, because the world, it hasn't been too kind to single mothers. It's a struggle. So I understand what y'all go through. For me, I'm a very determined person. And so, you know, and it's not that you necessarily have to do it all on your own. I know that I've done it by myself for years, but I can honestly say that I did get help. You know, it wasn't just me, but a lot of it I did, especially when it comes to earning some kind of income for them, because they're going to need that. So, you know, instead of, you know, being judgmental and calling women at their job and stuff like that, you should never mess with a woman's job or a man's job. It seems like these people are doing everything in their power to destabilize. Not just, and I'm gonna tell you something, even if you are married or live together, okay, the demons still come for you. I don't know why people think that they're protected from demons just because they're married. You may have more. So I think everybody needs to just join hands with everybody and damn sing kumbaya and cry it out and let it go. But we got the agents of the demons. They hear thumbs and down. They like, we want total annihilation and destruction. And it's like, well, you can't have that, honey. So, you know what I'm saying? We want annihilation and destruction. You know, that's what there's that destructive energy. They want to tear down all the buildings and burn up all. They just want the whole world to just be in flames. You know, it's okay. I get it, but we just ain't gonna let you let that happen. So, you know, I don't know. I hope everybody's doing well today and that everybody's children and themselves are at peace today, and that you are having a happy new moon, because we got a new moon coming up tomorrow. Where is it today? Hold on. Today. Yeah, today's the new moon, y'all. Wait a minute. Are we supposed to be having that eclipse today? Give me a second. Hold on, y'all. Somebody tried to call me. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta call my kids. No, actually. Oh, and you know what? I was gonna talk about this, but I decided not to make like an entire hangout on it. But a lot of people, you too fucked up about your situation. The moment that you stop being fucked up about it, things will get better. Like, for example, if you got up this morning and you said, God damn it, I need a drink. You know, or you say, well, shit, I'm gonna have me a nice little, you know, glass of wine with lunch. Drink the wine, enjoy the wine, and don't be fucked up about it. Don't sit up here and say, oh, I'm alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be surprised at how negativity is just going to make your addiction worse. So if you have any kind of, I was going to talk to people about that might have addictions. Do it and don't be fucked up about it. And you'll find that you'll start to feel better. Because a lot of people, the problems that they have, I don't care if you think you might be bipolar, schizophrenic, don't be fucked up about it. Seriously, just, you know, and now I don't really believe in bipolar or schizophrenia. I don't believe in that. I believe it's a medical diagnosis but it's originally created by negative spirits, or either somebody not being able to handle their spiritual gifts. Okay, I do. I believe that a lot of the people that end up in the mental places, you know, they got spiritual gifts. They just don't know how to use it, or they don't know how to handle it. That's what I believe, though, you know, and especially when it comes to my channel, I know that there's people on YouTube, you just all into the negativity and everybody gonna die and we just gonna fight and argue. Look, that's not what I believe in. Just because you saw me on here arguing with somebody doesn't mean that I wanted to do that. I had to do that. But other than that, I do think that the mothers and the fathers need support. But they need to listen, especially when it comes to spiritual and demonic possession. Now, if and we just had a movie that came out. I said we because I think if you're a spiritualist, you look at The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. You look at it differently, and so there's a lot of people that when you look at Ed and Lorraine Warren, okay, the actual people, the family behind that movie, they mad and they trying to sue. I don't know if y'all knew that. Of the guy that had killed somebody, and he had actually he served, I think, 5 years and got paroled after 5 years. His brother is upset with Ed and Lorraine Warren, saying that they were frauds and they were this and that. But in my opinion, they weren't frauds. If they actually believed in what they were doing, and so when you're a spiritualist, sometimes when you help people with their spiritual stuff, you may have the naysayers, but I believe that they tried to help that family years ago because I believe that there was one of the kids was possessed or something. And believe it or not, demonic possession is actually very, very real. Okay. And yeah, sometimes it does make people kind of crazy. It'll make people act real crazy, like, and so that, to me, that stuff is very real. Okay. So I don't look at everything from a logical, medical, scientific standpoint. I don't. No, I don't believe that this stuff is just, neurons or protons or brainwave activity. I don't really believe that. Okay. By the way, there's another movie that Keanu Reeves, sorry y'all, they cutting the grass. There's another movie with Keanu Reeves called Replica, and I started to watch it, but I couldn't really get into it. I'm gonna try to get into it, but it was starting out pretty good. So, it's not that because a lot of people don't like the movie references, but I think that it's just to give you an example, of what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you hug your babies for me, kiss them, hug your family. I love you guys. Have a happy Thursday. All of the people that love you, girl, I thank you for your love. I appreciate that so much in your, in your communion. I appreciate that. And I will see y'all later. Okay.